Hold up, listen to this, because things just got real uncomfortable. Papoose is sitting there visibly shaken when questions about Remy Ma start coming his way. And today, oh yeah, we're breaking it all down. We're talking Papoose, we're talking Remy, and yes, we're talking Claressa Shields too, because part 9 of this interview just dropped. And listen, I'm one part behind, I still owe y'all that breakdown. There's another clip tied to 50 Cent and Papoose's whole fixation on him that we gotta get into. But finally, we got a clip addressing Remy Ma, and this one dives into why he allegedly knocked out Ease by the Block Captain. But hold up, that's not even the half of it. Nah, this conversation goes way deeper. They start unpacking the entire timeline of Papoose and Remy Ma's marriage. They bring up how Papoose supposedly held her down while she was locked up. They talk about the family, the kids, the whole picture. And then, boom, the alleged divorce comes up. And listen, that's where things get really interesting. Because Papoose, he clearly does not want to go there. What's wild is, before this, he was saying Remy was the one pushing false narratives. He even referred to her as if she were just his last relationship. But now, when he's asked directly about Remy Ma, the energy shifts completely. Different tone, different vibe. Like something's not adding up. Go ahead, listen to this.
You and Claressa. And I kind of have to go a little bit before then, just to kind of tell the whole story. Now, I understand you're going through a divorce right now, so I'm going to be very careful
Lies. Lies.
state these questions. But I kind of want to just give some general background, because when me and you were doing interviews once Vlad TV already launched, Remy was locked up. And were you guys already married at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, so you married her before she got locked up, and you were visiting her in prison. And we even talked about how rare that was in a women's prison. How it was like you and like one other guy would be the only guy showing up in these women's prisons, right? But you literally held her down the whole time. You guys got out. You guys, reestablished the relationship. You had a beautiful baby, and everything was going fine.
Listen, right off the jump, Papoose looks uncomfortable. Like, you can see it all over him. I'm talking from the very first moment. Something feels off. But yeah, let's not forget, they got married just days before Remy Ma had to turn herself in and start that prison bid. That timing alone, that's a lot to unpack. So yeah, let's keep going.
And according to reports, right around 2022 is when you guys kind of stopped sharing the same bedroom and things started to kind of go left. Is that relatively accurate?
I can't say the exact date as to when, things went left, but
Y'all hear all that noise?
I would say it's safe to say, yeah, around that time. You know what I mean? Things went left. I can't just say exactly when, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, was there one thing in the relationship, in the marriage, that made both of you say, I just don't think this is gonna work?
Nah, it wasn't. It really wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, and like I always say, I have nothing bad to say about her. Like you said, I'm going through a situation right now. We are handling it. We are handling the divorce. So it's not much I could really get into about that. But what I will say is that, y'all as fans, like you said, me and you did an interview, and we spoke about it. We spoke about, what I was dealing with, visiting her through her bed, the whole situation, right?
Now hold up. This is where it starts getting really interesting. Because Papoose is clearly dodging the question about the last time he and Remy Ma were actually together as a couple. He doesn't want to confirm that 2022 timeline at all. And listen, that opens a whole different door. Because if it's not 2022, then what really happened recently? What changed? What went down behind the scenes that he doesn't want to say out loud? And on top of that, he's also avoiding the divorce conversation completely. Every time it comes up, he pivots right back to the "I held her down" narrative. And that right there, that feels intentional. It's like he's trying to control the story without actually addressing the real question. Now, this next part looks like a flashback clip. So yeah, let's keep going.
The men don't stick by the woman when they go to prison. That's the only reason why people feel like it's so red. When I go to Rikers Island, visit my homies on the visiting floor, it's full of females with little kids. It's packed. When I go upstate to visit Rem, the visiting floor is deserted. There's nobody even visiting them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why it's rare, because dudes don't support them. You always hear dudes complaining, yo, when you get locked up, fuck a bitch. A bitch don't hold you down. But it's a penitentiary full of women, and nobody do nothing for them. We spoke about that, so you kind of seen it unfold right in front of your eyes. Like our life has been an open book, and you know what you seen transpire is what transpired. You know, sometimes when it hit the fan, it has to be made to seem like it's more than that, but it's really not, bro.
Now listen, this whole holding you down narrative, I think it's been blown way out of proportion. People took that phrase and ran with it like it meant Papoose was completely loyal in every sense. But hold up, that's not necessarily what that means. All it really points to is that he was consistently showing up to visit Remy Ma while she was locked up. And to be fair, that's not something you see often in female prison situations. A lot of men don't show up like that. So yeah, that part got amplified into this whole perfect husband narrative, like he wasn't dealing with anyone else, like he was 100% faithful the entire time. But if you actually listen to what's being said, that's not what's being confirmed. It just means he was one of the few who stayed present physically, and that's different. Now, flip the perspective for a second. When men are locked up, women are usually the ones holding it down, bringing the kids, staying consistent, doing all of that. So the standard kind of shifts depending on who's inside, and that's why this whole situation feels a little off. Because even now, Papoose isn't clearly saying, I was fully committed, I wasn't seeing anyone else. He's not shutting that door at all. Instead, he keeps it focused on loyalty in terms of presence, which leaves room for a whole different interpretation. And then you start hearing the other allegations about possible extracurriculars, about finances, about moves being made behind the scenes that Remy Ma may not have even known about. Now, I'm not saying that's all confirmed, but the fact that these questions are even on the table, that's what makes this messy. So yeah, let's keep going.
Relationships are hard, man. Marriages are hard. Having kids is hard. And then, you're talking about kids from other relationships as well, mixed in. So you got kind of a blended family. Yeah, man, it's hard, especially there's a spotlight because you guys are public figures. That makes it even more hard. Mm-hmm. I get it.
But family is everything, man. I'm a strong, powerful advocate of that, man. Family is everything. Family first. And like I said, I got nothing bad to say about her, man. No comment on as far as she's concerned.
Well,
now hold up. This is where it really starts looking shaky. Because in that same interview when he was talking about 50 Cent, Papoose had no problem referring to Remy Ma as his past relationship. He even went as far as saying she was the one pushing false narratives. But now, the tone completely flips. Now it's, I'm not gonna speak on her. I wish her the best. I ain't saying nothing bad. And listen, that sounds good on paper, but his body language, that's telling a whole different story. He's fidgeting, he's shifting in his seat. He looks uncomfortable, like he doesn't want to be there in that moment. Low-key, this should have been a lie detector test, not an interview. I'm not even gonna lie, DJ Vlad might have missed a huge opportunity with that one. Because right now, it feels like there's more being hidden than said. And I'ma keep it real. It's given that not only does Papoose not want this divorce, but he doesn't want to say anything about Remy Ma at all. Almost like he's either holding back, or he knows if he says too much, something real might slip out. Because when Vlad tries to dig deeper, what happened? What led to the separation? Papoose shuts it down. Nothing happened. Everything was perfect. Everything was love. Black love, family, unity, all of that. But hold up. If everything was so perfect, then why are we here right now? That's the question nobody's getting a real answer to. And that's what makes this feel off. Because instead of addressing the situation directly, he keeps highlighting the parts that make him look good, holding her down, being the image of loyalty, representing that black love narrative. Even now, he won't fully commit to saying it's over. Yeah, he mentioned handling the divorce privately, but that's not the same as acceptance. And the way he's moving, it feels like he hasn't let go. Like in his mind, this isn't really finished. So yeah, let's keep going.
Well, then in 2023, going into 2024, there was the whole situation where the battle rapper, Easy the Block Captain, seemed like they had some sort of relationship with Remy. They kind of made it public and so forth. Was it kind of weird still being married to Remy while she's publicly dating someone else?
Well, you know, like I said, you know what I mean, without, you know, getting into details about her, you know, son got knocked out, you know what I mean? son got knocked out, straight up. And it went from there. I will say that. You know, I'm not gonna get into, like I said, I don't really wanna get into it about her, man. I wish her the best, and I got nothing negative to say about her. I will say, you know, which I did say, I said it publicly before, which was, you know, I didn't knock him out because of what he did. I knocked him out because he shook my hand and then did what he did. You know what I mean? But, you know, just no comment on her.
Now hold up. This is where it really gets messy. So basically, nothing on Remy Ma is coming out of Papoose's mouth. And I'm not gonna lie, that's interesting, because he doesn't want to answer questions about Remy Ma and Easy the Block Captain when they were publicly linked. Even though, let's be real, that situation didn't even start with Remy putting it out there. Fans were the ones spotting them together. Eagles games, events, all of that. And yeah, things escalated later when the back and forth started, but that wasn't how it began. Now here's the part that really makes you pause. He can't speak on someone dating publicly while still married, because that's exactly what he's doing right now with Claressa Shields. So if he says anything, he risks looking like the biggest hypocrite in real time. And while all of this is going on, we're supposed to be piecing together a timeline with Claressa, but she's nowhere to be found in this segment from DJ Vlad. Not mentioned, not addressed, nothing. And listen, the way Papoose was moving, all that fidgeting, shifting, looking uneasy, that said more than any answer could have. He's not comfortable talking about Remy Ma. He's not comfortable accepting that it's over. He won't even stamp it and say, yeah, we're done for good. He's avoiding that completely. And the fact that he couldn't confirm 2022 as the last time they were together, that speaks volumes, because now you're left wondering, did something happen recently? Or is he still holding on to the idea that things could circle back? Because honestly, it feels like he hasn't let go. It's almost like reality hit him mid-interview, like everything flashed in front of him. The situation with Claressa, the backlash, the criticism, all of it. Because let's be real, he never caught this kind of heat when he and Remy were publicly moving as a unit. And yeah, technically they're still married, but back then, the image was solid. Black love. No mess, no chaos. Now, it's the complete opposite. And it feels like Papoose knows that, like he's realizing in real time why he doesn't want to say anything negative about Remy, because we never saw this level of drama tied to her until everything started blowing up in 2024. But now I gotta hear from y'all. What's your take on this whole segment? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, or am I reaching? Go ahead, run the comments up. Hit that like button if you're rocking with the breakdown. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next drop. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one.